Welcome back to the Tracy Take. I'm Tyler here with my brother Ryan. And today we are breaking down the Tennessee Titans full 2024 NFL draft. It was a great weekend. We thought the Titans did a good job. It's going to be fun breaking down these picks. But before we do that, if you haven't already, go ahead and like this video and also subscribe to the Tracy Take. Get notified when new videos come out. We're trying to get to 4,000 new subscribers by the start of the 2024 NFL season. So that's a couple months away in September. So any help is greatly appreciated now that we're following the draft. So Ryan, let's pull up the Tennessee Titans draft here. They did not get Joe Alt, but I did think they probably got the next best thing. They got JC Latham, a super athletic right tackle out of Alabama. And so I think there's high upside here. They really need to make sure that they protect Will Levis at all costs here. And I think, again, JC Latham, Joe Alt would have been perfect. The left side, he would not have to worry about his blind side at all for his entire career with Peter Skoronski and Joe Alt there. I think JC Latham is the next best thing. He was right tackle in college, so probably right tackle, but Titans needed help all across the offensive line outside of Peter Skoronski. Maybe they could slowly transition him to left tackle if they feel that's maybe a more comfortable spot. But in minimum, I think he's just a great offensive lineman for the team.
Yeah, and really athletic guy. He definitely can make that switch over. I didn't have him here. I even had like Olu and Tracy Fuaga ahead of him on my board. And like I felt like all of a sudden, like 2 days before the draft, I heard somebody mention that JC Latham could go in the top 10. And I just I don't know. I didn't quite see it. I felt like he needs a little bit of work just mentally. I think you looked at him in college and a lot of his faults were just like mental lapses. Like he just wasn't quite in the game. And so I think that he needed a little bit of work there. But all in all, he's only 21, I believe. And 6'6", 340 pounds, moves really, really well. And so I still think it's a good pick. I just thought it was a little high, especially when you have Olu there, who could be your starting left tackle day one. I had Tracy Fuaga ahead of him on my board, but I will say JC Latham Fuaga does not have the ability to probably flip to the left. JC Latham does. So that's, I think, another upside there with him as well.
I think when I look at JC Latham, especially the two compared to Olu or Fuaga, I think there is maybe on the physical side probably the most of the three. Olu's probably the closest. Like I could listen to an argument there, but I think JC Latham, to your point, maybe like if there was some mental lapses, but I think those are things that can be coached in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like what to look for, how to look at, like how to become mentally prepared on every play. If that is a big issue for JC Latham, I don't think it's as big of a deal in my eyes. But because I also see those physical traits as well, and he looks just a perennial 15-year career tackle in the NFL. He just got that athletic traits. I still think it's a great pick. Now the best one, Joe Alt would have been the best one, but Joe Alt I think probably would have been the best pick for a lot of teams. So let's move on though. Now they got another huge guy on the interior for the defensive line here, but T'Vondre Sweat here. This is one. We're probably maybe a little mixed. I like the pick here. Maybe he's a little high, but I think he's just an absolute freak. He's going to be your nose tackle, 360 pounds. And I think he's going to draw on so much attention from the offensive line. But I can also understand if maybe this was a little early for the pick, if there are some other guys that might have been more appropriate for this pick here.
Yeah, and part of my biggest thing is he was just arrested for a DUI 2 weeks ago. It's not like he's this clean prospect, because if he was, he really would be in first round consideration. But there's a little bit of off the field issues just with him liking to party a lot, and he got a DUI. Not the end of the world. It's not like he had a domestic violence charge, but I still think for teams, especially with a city like Nashville, with Broadway and all the activities going on there, I think that there should be some cause for concern here. But character wise, I just don't know if his heart is in football, because they even said at Texas, he likes to go out and party. He's not the standard. He's not a role model in the locker room. So
well, especially then too, I maybe understand it if 2 weeks before the draft be just make good decisions, until the draft. But hopefully, I think Tennessee they vetted that. I think that they're going to have a system in place for that, because he's got a huge opportunity here, and I think the Titans obviously really loved him, and it just his freakish capabilities. So we'll have to kind of go wait and see. Hopefully, he can get that stuff in check as well, and can make sure that he's able to be on the field as much as possible. So they ended up not having a third-round pick, but so let's move on then to their next couple picks as well. Starting off with Cedric Gray, linebacker, Jarvis Brownlee Jr., cornerback as well. I think just addressing now each level of that defensive side of the ball. And I would say, too, kind of with these first 4 picks, one of the things I do like about it is they've addressed their main need, which is the offensive line. They got that, their 7th-round pick, and then they addressed every single level of the defense because they did lose some guys, especially on the defensive front, which was their best part of the team last year. And then now getting linebacker as well, and then also then addressing the secondary, which was a weakness for them. Like these, like at least if they're addressing the spot, we'll have to kind of see if these guys can maybe pan out and if they found some diamonds in the rough.
Yeah. So like Jarvis Brownlee, I believe, had a good Senior Bowl. Cedric Gray is an athletic linebacker from North Carolina. James Williams, another just raw athletic safety from Miami. So like just some good talent here. Like all in all, I think they did a good job of just adding talent to this roster. So
yeah,
let's get into our grades here. So I gave them a D+. If you couldn't tell, I wasn't a huge fan of the first couple picks, and when you don't have a 3rd-round pick, I just wasn't. Well, I'm not fully on board with that. With that strategy, felt it was too high for JC Latham. Felt it was way too high for T'Vondre Sweat with his off the field activities, and then also too sometimes those guys just don't work out in the NFL. They're just not athletic enough to do that. So I don't think that'll be the case with T'Vondre Sweat. But again, I just don't. I just don't like the pick.
So. Yeah, I don't understand. I kind of like the picks a little bit more. I can understand your points, and then I will say that I like that they address a lot of spots on the defensive side of the ball. So in general, I had them more kind of just as an average draft, but in general, I like that we kind of disagreed a little bit here, and so because. And then we'll be kind of see how things pan out in the season for the Titans overall. See who was right.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you thought of the Titans draft. Do you fall more in Tyler's realm where he thinks this is an average draft, or do you fall more in my realm where you don't necessarily like the picks in terms of just the overall players taken? So let's go ahead and wrap it up. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, leave a comment what you thought, and that we'll see you guys.